Hello everyone, welcome back. Here's today another episode of Market Update, and specifically in today's episode, we are going to look at the entire month's market update, August 2022. So it's a little bit longer as usual, but I hope that I'm gonna provide useful information to you because we are going to look at some sale numbers, some pricing number, and some days on the market number, and also some of the reason why it happens in this today market and some action for seller, buyers, and investor as well for the Phoenix market area. Okay, so let's just jump right into the information. Here's the slides that I want to share with you. This is the August 2022 market update. As you see here, this is a monthly sale. This is a number of 6,136. That is actually an increase, actually, as you see here from previous months, right? From previous month, you see a little bit uptick. And then, but however, when you compare to the previous year, it's actually a decrease of 28.8%. Going next to the new inventory, this is also another number at 9,627. So it's actually dropped. It's actually dropped inventory, as you see here, starting from June, when you have a highest number of new inventory. Now from July it dropped a little bit, and from August it's continued to drop. So with this current trend, we actually gonna release some stress off the market a lot, because the problem right now is that too much inventory on the market, and therefore it dragging the price, the home values down. But now we see that as newer inventory, as there are less new inventory coming onto the market, there's not as much stress as before anymore. This is actually, when you compare to previous year, is not so much different, only 2.8% different. Sorry, I'm getting my mouse here. Only 2.8% different compared to the previous year. The next number that I'm going to look at is the total inventory. Well, we can see that the new inventory number is going down, right? The total inventory is still going up. Now, but it's at much lower pace. If you see here from April to June and the beginning of July, you see a very steep curve, a very steep line, all right, indicates that it's changed rapidly from June to July. From April to July, but then from July to August, it's still an increase, but at much lower pace, as more flat line, right? Is less than here. One of the reasons is that the new inventory goes down, and also the monthly sales are a little bit higher, which make the total inventory is actually not increasing a lot. But the total inventory, including the number of new inventory coming onto the market, as well as the remaining inventory that haven't been sold yet. So overall, as we can see, that there's still demand there, right? We can see people buying properties, but it is not as high as last year, but it start to improving right here in August, right, as you see here. So we are interested to see what's happening in September, to see whether it's gonna change in which way, right? In terms of the next number is the monthly supply of inventory, 3.56. So this number means that if there's nothing new onto the market with the current pace, it's gonna take 3.56 months. That means it's about 3 months and 15 days for the remaining inventory to be sold completely. Compared to July, is actually not much. So this is another numbers we can see that not changing as much compared to July as well. You see here from April to July is a big jump, but from July to August is not as much difference. Okay. The next number is the days on the market. Sorry, I'm missing the information here, but it's basically 42 days on market. It takes longer to advertise right now. As you see, it takes longer to advertise right now in the market. So for the seller, you have to be very careful. If you do have to sell your house on the market right now, you have to be very careful in terms of pricing, because that is the number one thing that the buyer is sensitive at this time. So if you are over asked, for over ask at the beginning, the buyers will not look at that. Believe me, I come to multiple open house for the last couple of weeks, right? If the price is way above market value, no one comes, right? Even though we do a lot of marketing about the open house event, no one comes to the open house. But if there is a reasonable price in a good location, the buyers are still coming. Just say that the one that I did on Sunday right in Chandler, Ashley Park community, right? There are 10 people coming. That is a lot. That is a lot in today's market, by the way, right? So the seller, you have to be reasonable, more reasonable in terms of asking. Consult with your agent about the best asking price. I do have another video about how to list your house in today, how to start the asking price in today's market. So if you're interested in that, contact me. I will send it over. Okay, 42 days on the market right here. That is actually an increase of 13 days compared to the same time last year. In terms of pricing, this is more interesting right here because it's easier to understand. Everybody worry about the home price, right? 465 is the median new list price. This one is actually up 10% compared to the previous year. However, though, there is a downtrend. There's a downtrend. So the seller is still, some of the homeowners, they still in the history, in the mindset of last year, right? So they still being a little bit overconfident about the home price, and sometimes therefore the median new list price is still higher than the last year. However, though, we can see the downtrend compared to the previous month. The actual sale price, the median sale price is about 445. So there's a couple of things right here. Obviously, the sale price is less than the new list price, right? So seller expects that anytime that you list, all right, if it is over ask, you eventually have to reduce the price, right? If it is over ask, you have to reduce the price to be able to get your home sold, right? So that means you do, if you list your price correctly, you can sell faster. Okay, you can still sell if you are over ask at 465, but this is an average, right? But if you it's gonna take you longer time to do so. Right, for the sale price of 445, it's actually still an increase of 9.9% compared to the previous year. So in contradictory that a lot of people saying that the home price is actually goes down, it's actually the asking price that going down at a much faster pace. If you still if you bought the house last year, you still earning some money compared to the home value last year. If you bought the house around May, June, you may lose some money. But if you bought a house last year, you still be earning something. Now, looking forward for the forecast of next month, September 2022, we are going to focus a forecast of Dow trend of 440. Dow of 440. Okay, so another 5,000 drop. So buyers, this is the best time for you. Oh, I'm gonna look at the buyer side later, but seller, this is the time that you are very serious. If you're very serious about selling your house, the price is very reasonable. Because here's the thing, you can list at whatever price you decide, but as time passed, the home value is gonna continue going down, as you see on the forecast, right? It's gonna continue going down. So are you first of all, you wasting your time? Secondly, you're gonna get a lower offer anyway. So be very careful with the asking price and consult with the agent as much as possible to give the best asking price so that you can get your home sold quickly. Okay. All right, so talking about the buyers, so this is a little bit this is the fact that we see so far, right? We already see the news that the 30 years interest rate hits the 6.6% last week. Okay, so as of today, it's still going higher. And that is the thing. The interest rate as of right now, I think is going to keep continue going up. There's no trend is show going down, even though there's a little bit drop here, but eventually it's kind of going up again because of the inflation. And I think simple answer is that the government try to keep the inflation down, and raising interest rates seems to be very effective at this time. And therefore, they're going to continue doing that. They're going to continue keeping the interest rate high so that inflation going to be keeping low, even though it's still high at this time. But at least it doesn't go crazy high anymore, right? So interest rate going to keep going up like this, as you see. Buyers, okay, anytime. I know that a lot of people worry about the interest rate right now, but here's the thing: when you buy the house, you lock into that house. Okay, imagine if you and then no one when you lock into the house, no one else can get it. Okay, imagine at the time that the interest rates drop, a lot of people are gonna jump in right away. So you may not be able to get that house that you want. Okay, and for that reason you lose the house. You cannot have the house, and even if the interest rate getting low, you don't have the house. So what's the point, right? So right now, if you are serious about buying, get locked into the house. Later on, if the interest rate go down, right, you can do a refinance and get a lower interest rate. If in the situation, what if the interest rate keep going up higher? Hey, congratulations, you get the house at the low interest rate, right? Okay, so that's the advice for the buyer. So this is also another factor that I'm gonna talk about is the active listing. This is in the same kind of information in the first two slides, right? This is the active listing. A lot of people worry about a crash on the market, right? As we see here, because a lot of people think from March to June, there's a big jump in terms of active listing on MLS on the market, right? But as you see here, from July to August to September, the number is fairly flat, right? It's still going up. I agree with that, but it's still fairly flat. So that means you don't have any, you don't have a lot of going up, a lot of new active listing on the market anymore. Within this period right here, the reason is that there's a lot of investors bought a house back in January or March, and January and February, and therefore they have to sell off during this period, right? They have to, because some of the the loan for the investor, they do have like a 6 months or a short term that they have to pay back. Okay, so they have to sell very quickly during this period right here. But right now, the investor does not sell off anymore, and if it is a primary home of some seller, you don't have to sell, right? You don't have to sell, because if you sell, you have to find another place to live, and you have to end up with a higher interest rate. So a lot of people do not sell anymore. So this is coming back to like, okay, the market is slowing down, right? More listing coming onto the market, but people are more calm about the market right now. They are not rushing to sell anymore the contract. So this is not as the highest point. Back in 2016, you have a higher number. So why a lot of people worry about this? So there's a couple of conclusions here. The reason why the market changing as a lot right now, like a lot of people do not want to buy, do not want to sell right now, because a lot of people are used to the market of 2020 and 2021 and early 2022, right, where we have a much lower inventory on the market, right? Right now we see a lot of houses available on the market, and we think, oh my gosh, this is not a good sign. However, though, we have a period in the history that we have a much higher inventory on the market. Okay, that's number one. Number two, social media. Right now, a lot of people thinking about reaching, like go to social media, YouTube, and get a connection with Facebook and things like that. And a lot of people are giving the not a prediction of a disaster, and people might tend to believe in those bad news more than the good news. So people are in giving the wrong information, and get adapt to that information, right? And number three, the trend, as you see here, number 2016, right? In 2016, right? Even though the trending is much higher than now, but it's as a somewhat at the same level, of the flat line. However, though, for 2022, it's a big jump from a very low number above. Okay, it's a big jump. Therefore, that people are afraid of that. Number four, we have a large inventories owned by iBuyers. As you see here, during this period right here, that is when a lot of, again, I told you, investor dump their property, want to get rid of their property as much as possible. That's why there's a big jump here. But right now, when all the iBuyers, all the investor, they already so putting their house onto the market and get sold them quickly, there's the remaining primary home, they do not have to sell very quickly, and therefore you're gonna see a much more balance on the market. Okay, the last advice that I have is for the investor, for the smaller investor, right? Because I don't help iBuyers, big investor and things like that, big company. For a small investor, a lot of people ask me, is it a good time to buy investment properties? And my answer to them is that it's a good time anytime, right? It's a good time anytime, because here's the thing. In every market, you will be able to find a good deal. Okay, in every market, you should be able to find a good deal. All right, that give you the good number in your calculation. Okay, so as long as you find that property, as long as you have a good criteria, a list of criteria that you follow, right? And then we find that properties, we can go ahead and move forward with that. Because if you're waiting for the market to crash, something that we don't know whether it is happening or not, right? We want to, I mean, that is a good chance to buy a good discount house, but will it happen, or how long do we want to wait, right? So and in every market, I can see a good deal everywhere, and if it is fit that criteria, do it. And of course, we do have to analyze, we have to make sure the number makes sense as well. But that's why once a week, I always send out a list of good deals for my network of investor. So if you're interested in getting on the list, let me know and I will set it up for you. Okay. Thank you so much. And that is all I have for today market update. Thank you. Bye-bye.